The cafe in Montmartre was exactly the kind of place Rebecca would choose. Elegant, overpriced, and perfect for people who wanted to be seen. I watched her through the window, sipping her 15 euros latte while scrolling through her phone, not a care in the world. She hadn't changed much in 5 years. Same perfectly styled blonde hair, same designer clothes, same air of casual superiority. The only difference was that now she was living off our parents' retirement savings, all $4.2 million of them. My name is Sarah Matthews, and I've spent the last 5 years hunting down my sister. Not for revenge, though God knows I wanted it. No, this was about justice, about making things right for our parents who now worked retail jobs in their 70s because their brilliant investment advisor daughter had cleaned up their accounts and disappeared. I checked my watch, 2:45 p.m. Right on schedule. Taking a deep breath, I adjusted my dark wig and sunglasses, picked up my designer handbag, a clever fake, and walked into the cafe. Bonjour, I said to the hostess in carefully practiced French. I'm meeting someone. Ah, there she is. I pointed to Rebecca's table by the window. Before the hostess could stop me, I walked over and sat down across from my sister. Rebecca looked up, annoyed at the intrusion, then froze as I removed my sunglasses. Hi, Bex, I said quietly, using her childhood nickname. Long time no see. The color drained from her face. Sarah? What? How did you find you? I smiled, though there was no warmth in it. That's an interesting story. Almost as interesting as how you managed to forge Mom and Dad's signatures on those transfer documents. She glanced toward the door, calculating. I could practically see the wheels turning in her head. Could she make a run for it? Create a scene? Call security? Don't bother, I said, opening my handbag and pulling out a manila envelope. Running won't help. Not this time. What do you want? She hissed, her perfectly manicured hands clenching around her coffee cup. Money? Is that it? Come to guilt-trip me into sharing. I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make heads turn at nearby tables. Money? You think that's why I spent 5 years tracking you down? No, Bex. I'm here because you destroyed our family, and now you're going to help me fix it. She leaned back, some of her old confidence returning. Or what? You'll tell the police? Go ahead. There's no proof I did anything wrong. The transfers were all legal, signed and notarized. I opened the envelope and slid out a stack of papers. Actually, that's where you're wrong. See, while you were living up in Paris, I've been very, very busy. Her eyes flickered to the documents, then back to my face. What is this? This, I said, tapping the papers, is everything. Every forged document, every fake signature, every illegal transfer, and most importantly, proof of where the money went. Would you like to know how I found it all? She didn't answer, but I could see fear creeping into her eyes. It started with Dad's signature on the final transfer form. I continued. You were always good at forgery. Remember all those report cards you used to fake in high school? But you made one mistake. Dad's arthritis was acting up that week, and his signature would have been shakier than usual. Yours was perfect, too perfect. Rebecca's hand trembled as she reached for the papers, but I pulled them back. That got me thinking, what else had you faked? So I did some dating. A lot of digging. Did you know Mom kept all their old bank statements? Every single one, going back 20 years. It took months, but I compared every signature, every document, every transaction. You're bluffing, she whispered, but we both knew she didn't believe that. I pulled out my phone and opened a series of photos. This is you at HSBC Paris, opening an account under the name Rebecca Laurent. This is you transferring funds through 3 different shell companies, and this, I swiped to the last image, is you meeting with Jean-Paul Dupont last week. She flinched at the name. How do you know about Jean-Paul? Your business partner? The one helping you launder money through his art gallery? Oh, I know all about him, including the fact that he's already under investigation by the French Financial Crimes Unit. For the first time, real fear showed on my sister's face. Sarah, listen. No, I cut her off. You listen. In about 30 seconds, a man is going to walk through that door. He's from Interpol's Financial Crimes Division. The only reason he's not already here is because I convinced him to give me a chance to talk to you first. She glanced at the door, panic rising in her eyes. But, I continued, there might be another option. If you're interested. Rebecca's eyes snapped back to me. What kind of option? I pulled out another envelope. The kind that keeps you out of prison. But trust me. Sister dear, you're not going to like it. The cafe door chimed as it opened. Rebecca's face went white as she saw the tall man in a dark suit walk in. Time's up, I said softly. What's it going to be? Rebecca's hand shot across the table, grabbing the second envelope. What do you want? She whispered urgently, eyes darting between me and the Interpol agent who was now speaking quietly with the hostess. I smiled, feeling a grim satisfaction at seeing my usually composed sister so rattled. It's quite simple, really. You're going to give the money back. All of it. She let out a strangled laugh. Simple? Sarah, I can't just. It's not that easy. The money's tied up in investments, properties. You mean the art gallery, the townhouse in the 16th arrondissement, the Swiss bank accounts. I leaned forward. I told you, Bex, I know everything. The Interpol agent was slowly making his way through the cafe, apparently checking each table. We had maybe 2 minutes left. Even if I wanted to, Rebecca hissed, I can't liquidate everything immediately. It would take time. 3 days, I said firmly. You have 3 days to transfer everything back to our parents' accounts. The routing numbers are in that envelope, along with instructions for how to make it look legitimate. Her eyes narrowed. And if I don't? I nodded toward the approaching agent. Then I stopped stalling him. Everything I've discovered goes to Interpol, the FBI, and the French authorities. You'll spend the next decade in prison, and Jean Paul right along with you. You do that? To your own sister? My sister? I felt a surge of anger. My sister died the day she stole our parents' future and ran away to Paris. You're just the criminal wearing her face. The agent was just 2 tables away now. Rebecca's hands shook as she opened the envelope, scanning the contents quickly. 3 days, she asked, her voice barely audible. I nodded. And Rebecca? If you try to run, if you try to hide the money, if you do anything except exactly what those instructions say. I gestured to the approaching agent. Well, let's just say this is only a small taste of what I can do. She swallowed hard, then forced a smile as the agent reached our table. Mademoiselles, he said politely, I apologize for the interruption. We are conducting a routine check. I held up my hand, speaking in French. No need, Inspector Rousseau. My sister and I were just finishing our conversation. Weren't we, Bex? Rebecca clutched the envelope to her chest and nodded. Yes, we were. I stood up, gathering my things. Remember, 3 days. Don't disappoint me again. As I walked out of the cafe, I heard Rebecca engaging the inspector in rapid French, probably trying to appear normal, unworthy of suspicion. But I knew her too well. She was already planning, calculating, trying to figure out a way around this. What she didn't know was that I had planned for that too. Back in my hotel room, I called the one person who had helped make this all possible. It's done, I told Marcus, my voice finally betraying my exhaustion. She took the bait. Marcus, my best friend since college and now one of the top forensic accountants in New York, chuckled. Of course she did. You didn't give her a choice. But do you really think she'll do it? Return the money? I sat down heavily on the bed, kicking off my heels. She'll try to find a way out first. Probably contact some of her shadier friends, look for escape routes. But when those fall through, when they fall through because we've already blocked them all, Marcus interjected. Right. When she realizes she's truly trapped, she'll follow the instructions. Rebecca's a survivor. She'll choose losing the money over losing her freedom. And the inspector? He play his part well. I smiled, remembering the look on Rebecca's face. Perfectly. She never suspected he was just an actor I hired. Having him there made everything else I said more credible. Speaking of credible, Marcus said, his tone turning serious. What about the real authorities? You know she's actually guilty of everything you accused her of. I know, I sighed. But prosecuting her wouldn't get our parents' money back. This way, if she cooperates, everyone wins. She stays out of jail, our parents get their retirement back, and I paused. And you what? And I can finally stop hunting her, stop letting her take up space in my head. After hanging up, I walked to the window. Paris sparkled in the evening light, the Eiffel Tower beginning to glow against the darkening sky. Somewhere out there, my sister was probably frantically trying to find a way to outsmart me. Let her try. I'd spent 5 years becoming an expert in financial crimes just to understand how she'd done it. I learned French, studied international banking laws, built a network of contacts in the financial world. I'd sacrificed my own career, used up my savings, dedicated every waking moment to this pursuit. Rebecca had always underestimated me. To her, I was just the quiet younger sister who played by the rules. She never understood that playing by the rules had taught me exactly how to break them when necessary. My phone buzzed. A text from one of my contacts at the airport. Rebecca had just tried to book a flight to Singapore, only to find her passports, all three of them, mysteriously blacklisted. Another buzz, her attempt to wire money to a Cayman Islands account had been blocked. A third message, her call to Jean-Paul had gone straight to voicemail because he was currently in police custody on unrelated charges. Charges that would disappear once Rebecca returned our parents' money, though she didn't know that part yet. I smiled as the messages kept coming in. Every escape route closing, every backup plan failing. I'd spent 5 years building this cage around her, making it look like coincidence and bad luck rather than careful planning. By tomorrow, she'd realize she was trapped. By the day after, she'd understand that her only way out was through me. And on the third day, our parents would wake up to find their accounts restored, their future secured. As for Rebecca, well, that would depend entirely on her next move. On the third morning, I sat in my hotel room watching the numbers on my laptop screen. 3 separate banking apps were open, each showing our parents' accounts. At exactly 9:00 a.m. Paris time, the first transfer came through, 1.2 million euros. My phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. It's starting. She's actually doing it. I didn't reply, my eyes fixed on the screen as more transfers appeared. By 9:15, the total had reached 2.8 million euros. Rebecca was cutting it close. She had until noon to complete the transfers according to my instructions. At 11:30, my phone rang. Rebecca. I've done it, she said without preamble, her voice tight. Every cent. Are you happy now? I checked the final totals. $4.2 million, exactly what she'd stolen. You did what you had to do, nothing more. So that's it, she laughed bitterly. You've ruined everything I built here, and now you just walk away. Everything you built? I felt my careful control slipping. You built nothing, Rebecca. You stole from our parents, from the people who gave you everything. They're working at Walmart at 70 years old because of you. There was a long pause. I never meant for that to happen, she said quietly. I had debts, and then an opportunity came up, and I thought I could double their money, make everything right. Save it? I cut her off. I don't care about your excuses. The money's back where it belongs. That's all that matters. What am I supposed to do now? For the first time, she sounded scared. I have nothing left. You have exactly what you deserve, I replied. But since you complied with my demands, I'll keep my end of the bargain. The authorities won't hear about this from me. Sarah, wait. I hung up, cutting off whatever plea or manipulation she was about to attempt. 5 years of pursuit, of sacrifice and determination, and it ended with a simple phone call. My hands were shaking as I dialed another number, home. Hello, my mother's voice, tired from another early morning shift. Mom, you should check your bank account. What? Sarah, what are you talking about? Just look, Mom. Please. I heard shuffling, the clicking of a keyboard, then silence. Mom? A sob broke through the phone. Sarah, is this real? It's real, Mom, all of it. You and Dad can retire now. For real this time. But how did you? She stopped. Rebecca, you found her? Yes, I said simply. I found her. Where is she? Is she okay? Classic mom, still worried about her eldest daughter even after everything. She's fine. Better than she deserves to be, but she won't bother us again. After promising to explain everything when I got home, I hung up and walked to the window. Paris was bright and clear, the morning sun glinting off the buildings. Somewhere out there, my sister was probably already planning her next move, figuring out how to rebuild. That was who she was, always moving forward, never looking back at the damage she left behind. But this time, she'd be doing it without our parents' money, without the safety net she'd stolen. My phone buzzed again. Marcus, you did it. It's really over. I typed back, Not quite. One more thing to do. Opening my laptop, I sent a single email to Jean-Paul Dupont's lawyer. As promised, the evidence that would clear him of his current legal troubles was attached. Honor among thieves, even if they didn't know they were working for me. Then I began booking my flight home. But not before sending one final message, but one that would ensure she could never pull this kind of scam again. Ask Rebecca Matthews about the $4.2 million she stole from her elderly parents. Ask her what happened when her sister caught up with her. Petty, maybe, but sometimes justice needs a little help spreading the word. As I packed my bags, I thought about the past 5 years. I put my life on hold, spent every resource I had, learned things I never wanted to know about the dark side of international finance. Was it worth it? My phone buzzed one last time, a photo from Dad. He was holding his retirement notice, grinning like I hadn't seen him grin in years. Mom was beside him, crying happy tears. Yeah, it was worth it. That evening, as my plane took off from Charles de Gaulle Airport, I looked down at the city where my sister had hidden for so long. Paris would recover from Rebecca Matthews. Cities always do. Just like our family would recover, stronger now that the wound had been cleaned and bandaged. I thought about Rebecca, probably already working on her next reinvention. Part of me wondered if I should feel guilty about taking everything from her. But then I remembered our parents working doubles at minimum wage jobs because their daughter had stolen their dreams. No, I decided. Rebecca had made her choices. Now she had to live with the consequences. As for me, I had a family to go home to and a life to restart. 5 years of obsession and pursuit had changed me, taught me things about myself I never knew. I was stronger than I'd thought, more capable than anyone, including Rebecca, had ever given me credit for. My phone buzzed one last time as we reached cruising altitude, a text from an unknown number. This isn't over, little sister. I smiled, typing back, yes, Rebecca, it is. And if you ever try anything like this again, remember, I'll find you. I'll always find you. Then I turned off my phone, ordered a glass of champagne, and watched the sun set over the clouds. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about protecting the people they tried to hurt. Our parents had their future back. Rebecca had her consequence. And me? I had my peace.